Hi, scholars. Today we're going to pause our lesson and talk about the events that happened on September 11th, 2001. Today we call this Patriots Day, and it is set aside to observe and remember September 11th. First, I want to tell you my story and give you some insight on where I was and what happened on September 11th. This is a picture from May of 2001. I was in high school in 2001. I was actually a sophomore in high school, and I was involved in a traveling choir. We headed to New York in May of 2001, and this is actually a picture that I took with my very own disposable camera. If you don't know what a disposable camera is, you can ask your parents about the history of that. This is a picture that I took from the base of Twin Tower number 2. Or the World Trade Center. This is the ground zero as we know it today, and this is me standing at the very base looking up. We were about to head up to the observation deck, and we can take a look at the observation deck here. Okay, so this is a picture that I took on top of the World Trade Center. It's the South Tower. This is the observation deck, the 107th floor of the observation deck. You can see New York City, the grand size of New York City from here. If you take a look at the right, on the right of this picture, just over here, you will see the first Twin Tower, Twin Tower number 1, World Trade Center Tower number 1. This is the North Tower, and I would be on the South Tower taking this picture. Let's take a look at another picture. This is the other side of the observation deck. You can see Brooklyn Bridge over here. Okay, and the Statue of Liberty would be right to the right. Okay. This is still observation deck, 107th floor, South Tower. Okay, and then I've got one more picture to share with you. May 2001, during my trip to New York. This is the World Trade Center Ground Zero as we call it today. It was not called Ground Zero then. It was just basically a courtyard for the World Trade Centers. And this is looking out towards New York City. The World Trade Centers would be behind me. So fast forward to September the 1st, 2001. I was sitting in chemistry class, in Mr. Hodges' chemistry class, first period, listening to some chemistry lecture, I'm positive, and our principal came over the intercom and told all the teachers to go ahead and turn their TVs on to the news channel. I'm not sure, I don't remember what news station it was. So Mr. Hodges turned the TV on to the news station, and we watched as the World Trade Center number 1, so not the picture of the World Trade Center that I just showed you, but the first World Trade Center was on fire. A plane had already flown through it, and we were all wondering what was going on. We had no idea what was going on. All we knew is that a plane somehow flew through the first World Trade Center. As we were watching the TV, we saw a live shot of the second plane flying through the second World Trade Center, the very one that I just showed you pictures of, that I had been on top of, and so had many of my classmates, as they were also in the traveling choir. I remember being in shock that day, still not truly really understanding what was going on. We watched the news for the entire rest of that period and well on into the day. I can remember as I entered my choir room that afternoon, that we cried together, we hugged each other. We still didn't understand what was happening. We knew at that point that we were under attack, but we didn't understand what kind of attack it was. And I remember feeling fear and sorrow and disbelief, and really not understanding the impact that this would have on our future. But I also remember the thankfulness that I had gotten to see or experience New York before 9/11 actually happened. So I really just wanted to share my experience with you guys today, and I know that you were born after 9/11 and the same kind of experience that I have or that your parents have with this event. But I want you to take a second today or a moment today to ask your mom and dad or your guardian about 9/11. They will have a memory of that day, and they will be able to tell you exactly where they were. If you haven't had that discussion with them, please do. It's a moment in history. It's when the world really did stand still, and they will be able to share that memory with you. So ask them, take a moment, ask them, and really listen to where they were and what they happened, and maybe they can share some of their emotions that they had for that day. Now I want you to take a look at the next part of the lesson. I want you to open up Active Classroom and enter and watch the video that's in Active Classroom. It's a remembrance video of some people who had loved ones there, or they were there themselves. There are a few discussion questions after that to answer, but really take a moment to listen to their stories and feel what they feel and understand the depth and really complexity of 9/11 and how it impacted us. Hope you guys have a great Friday.